I work for an energy company. A customer wanted my manager because I wouldn't give them a free sample of electricity. Another customer wanted to complain because they didn't like the smell of the gas. I was more concerned they could smell gas rather than what the smell was like. Quick fact, they add the foul smell to gas so you notice it. I worked in returns at IKEA and had a customer complain that they accidentally ripped the instruction manual in half for the furniture piece they were assembling when they were cutting open the box and couldn't finish assembling it. I politely informed them that all our instruction manuals were available online in PDF form, but this just made her mad and she wanted to speak to the manager. Manager gave her a few $5 gift cards just to get her off my back. But I will always find it so funny that this lady thinks accidentally cutting in half an instruction manual, she had both halves too, so she could have just easily put them together to read the instructions, inhibited her from assembling furniture. I work at a natural foods grocery store, and an older customer asked to speak to my manager because we sell ice cream with too much sugar in it. And as a health food store, a product with sugar should not be on our shelves. What is it that black people use to keep your hair clean? Asked by a white woman who had walked into a black hair care supply store. She had her hair done in braids and just walked up to the first black woman she saw and asked that question. We'd all gone a bit quiet when she walked in, so everyone heard her question. The woman just sort of stared and then said, "Shampoo?" and gestured to the wall full of different kinds of shampoo behind her. The white woman shook her head in frustration and went to the next black woman and asked the same question. Of course, that woman had also heard the question and answer that had just happened and knew shampoo wasn't the right answer, so she kind of shrugged and said, soap? The white woman again looked exasperated, and I was the next closest black woman, so she asked me. My guess as to the right answer was, is it water? She shook her head again. By this point, the woman in the adjacent hair salon had come over and just sort of snapped, "Black people wash their hair, you fool." Our guess, after she left, was that she had gotten her hair braided without knowing how to care for it. She'd probably tried washing it at one point and was shocked at how messy it looked afterwards. White hair generally has a different texture than black hair, and so it won't hold the braid that well. And besides, black women generally are using extensions with the braids, and the extensions hold the braid perfectly, and figured that black people must have some secret method to keep it clean, and were refusing to tell her. I had a customer at a restaurant I work at overhear a conversation I was having about running. She told me my insides were going to fall out of my vagina someday from running so much. Apparently, this happens to every woman. I used to work in university administration. A woman called and gave me her daughter's name because she had some questions about her account. I couldn't find the student. Tried everything. Name, social, student ID, number nada. She begins to verbally assault me and claim I'm useless. Turns out she has two daughters. She called the wrong school for the daughter she was asking about. I worked at a restaurant, and two men didn't want me to take their cash because I would give them the wrong change because women are bad with money. I worked at Michael's one summer in my youth. An older lady once wanted to return yarn already knitted into a scarf. We do not have people unknitting items in the back. Of course, she had to embarrass herself by speaking to the manager and making a second jaw drop. When I worked fast food, a girl came up and very smugly ordered a burger without the meat, bread, ketchup, mustard, or pickles. That's right. She ordered a few pieces of lettuce and a couple of slices of tomato. I once had a woman ask me if my store had any C.S. Lewis box sets because she had given away the one her mother gave her as a child. I hate myself for not holding on to it, she said. Then she turned to look me dead in the eyes, and with no sign of joking, she said, "And I hate you too." Then she walked away before I could even answer her question. I've had customers call me names, yell at me, hit on me, ask stupid questions, and more. But no single customer has ever confused me to this extent, and I will never forget this experience. So I had this phone number for about 2 years and kept getting calls and texts for some guy named Tom. I tried telling everyone they had the wrong number, but nobody listened. Not Tom, not his friends, not anyone. They just kept calling and texting like I was running some kind of answering service for this dude. It got old real fast, but Elle figured it would eventually stop on its own. Then Tom decided to escalate things and started giving my number out to real estate agents and random businesses just to mess with me. That was it. Next time someone called asking for Tom, I texted back saying, "Hey, it's Tom. Sorry I can't talk right now. I'm getting my ass fucked at a furry convention." Only took 2 of those messages before my phone started blowing up with angry calls from who I'm guessing was Tom himself. Never heard from anyone looking for Tom ever again after that. So there was this barfly who showed up every single morning right when we opened at 10:30. He'd park himself at the bar, drink coffee nonstop, shred coasters into confetti, and have these obnoxiously loud speakerphone conversations like he owned the place. We never had other customers until lunch, so it was just me and this guy. I had control of the amp behind the bar and started cranking the music up bit by bit whenever he walked in. Eventually, it got so loud he'd be waving his arms around like a maniac trying to get me to turn it down, but I just acted clueless. He'd storm off to the restaurant side to complain to my manager, and the second he left, I'd turn it back to normal volume. Then, as soon as he came back, I'd start slowly turning it up again. One day, he just stopped coming in completely, and honestly, I kind of missed messing with him like that. The company I worked for allowed 2 people per team to be out on PTO at a time. Anyone else got waitlisted. They also awarded PTO by seniority, so if 3 people wanted it the same day off, the 2 who had been with the company longest would get it. They hired a ton of new people and decided to switch to first request, first get for 1 year, so everyone would have an equal chance at getting PTO. Cue my coworker, who was a non-practicing Jew. She requested all the Jewish holidays off, along with all the Christian holidays. Since she was first request, she got them all. Wouldn't trade a single one, even though many people on the team had very young children and could have used PTO around Easter and Christmas. So the next year, 5 of us decided to come in bright and early the day PTO opened for requests. We proceeded to put in requests for every single Christian and Jewish holiday rotating who would get it, so the third person would be waitlisted. We also took summer holidays and put in for some Mondays and Fridays for long weekends. Coworker arrived at her usual 9 a.m. start time and was very upset to see all the holidays and summer weekends were unavailable. She threw a tantrum and went to HR, but nothing could be done because we followed the rules. Nobody would trade with her either. A woman asked me if Gorilla Glue was made from real gorillas. I laughed at first, but she was serious. She told me she was vegan and wouldn't use the product if it was made with real gorillas.